Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Violet and I'm super happy to have you here. In today's video, I created 3 separate looks with the new ColourPop High Tide palette. This is an Ulta exclusive, so hopefully it does hit ColourPop's website for those of you who are international or will not be able to pick it up at your local Ulta. This is what the palette looks like in case you have not seen it yet. It is all inspired by the ocean, all incorporating teal shades that are super gorgeous. If you're curious on hearing just an overview of everything about this palette, such as swatches, comparisons, what I thought about each shade, what I experienced with each of these shades, anything and everything that you may need to know or would possibly want to know, then definitely stay tuned. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into look number 1. Alright, so I'm super freaking excited. ColourPop released a new palette. I think it's an Ulta exclusive. I could be completely wrong, but if you haven't seen it, it is the High Tide palette. It is beautiful. It's their, I believe it's like aqua or teal palette that they just came out with. This is the glorious High Tide palette. I'm so, isn't this just beautiful? This is so stunning, and I'm loving it. So I think first shade we're going to go with is going to be called Currents, which is this shade right here. And that one does have a lot of kickback or fallout from the pan. I don't know if you can see. I don't want to spill it, but I don't know if you can see. There's definitely some powderness. And I think I'm going to place this probably in my crease area. I'm eyeballing this one. When I swatched it and when I saw it in the palette, I fell in love and I was like, I know that I have to use this. So that's my goal, is to use this shimmer, but getting there is no idea how it's gonna roll. I go in with New Wave, and I think I'm gonna use that to kind of darken up this crease just a little bit. So I'm gonna use the same brush, which is the ColourPop E2. So this shade, I was tapping my brush into it right here, called New Waves. It's not showing up any kickback as this one did. So this one had a lot, and this one's not really having much at all. The next shade I'm going to use is called Urchin, which is this one right here. And this one looks more blue compared to this previous one called New Wave that I used. This one looks more like a deep teal. This one looks more like a deep blue. And I dip my brush into it here, and there is some kickback, some fallout. I don't know. It might be hard to tell on camera because it is such a deep, dark shade. I did apply it on the lower lash line in conjunction with New Wave. So I applied New Wave first and then the Urchin shade. So that's what's on the bottom lash line. I am going to dip into Free Floating here. I almost want to call it Free Falling. It reminds me of that old, I think it was like an 80s song or something. If you remember it, shout out to you for remembering and knowing that song. So I'm going to apply this with my finger as I normally apply all of my shimmers. And then I think I'm going to go into Lunar, which is the more darkest shade out of this entire palette, and deepen up the outer corner a little bit. And this shade is going to go into my outer corner just to deepen up just a little bit. Day 2 with the High Tide ColourPop palette. For today, I think I'm going to go and try just a splash. We're going to go into this one here first, which is a matte shade, but it's got glitter into it. I never understand these shades. I don't get the point. Either you're matte or you're shimmer. Don't combine the two. I don't know. That's just me. I also forgot to mention before we get started, I already have my base makeup done. It is the same that I used in look 1, so all of the face details will be in the description box below. Next shade I think I'm going to go into, and I'm going to use the same brush. And I haven't used this one yet, but it's called Flora, and this one is almost like a light sage green, light seafoam green. I wish I could ask you guys like what I should do, but this isn't a live video because I really want to ask y'all's opinion. I think we're going to try New Wave. We're going to go into New Wave and then we will kind of see from there. I'm actually going to work on the lower lash line because I always tend to forget this on camera, or I always just tend to forget it like the last step. I'm actually going to go into Flora right here, this second shade that we used. Now Flora is on the lower lash line, and then I'm going to go on top of it with New Wave, the shade that I just used right here. Alright, we worked on the lower lash line. Proud. Pat on the back from me. I'm actually going to start working on my lid shades, the shimmer shades, and then I will deepen up the outer corner. So I am going to be using the Must See shade right here. This super fun, bright, like teal, I don't know, it's gorgeous. Oh, it's so pretty. And then I'm going to gradually take it into this one called Muscle Beach. Now I'm going to deepen the outer corner with Lunar again, and I love this shade. It's so beautiful. I mean, all of the shades in this palette are beyond gorgeous, and you will see in the swatches in the next video, because you are just going to drool like I did. Day 3. So for today's look, I'm going to keep it super simple, and I'm going to be using just strictly this row right here. And my whole base makeup is done. Check the description box below if you would like any and all details of what's on my face. Eyes are primed. I set them again this time, so hopefully things will blend a little bit better. Let's get into it. Start off with Flora for our crease slash transition shade, which is this shade right here. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and apply Flora onto my lower lash line now that I'm remembering to actually include this. So to continue on, I'm going to now go into Lunar, which is the dark shade that I've used in all 3 looks now, and I'm going to apply this onto the outer V, or the outer corner of my eye. So now I'm going to go back into the same shade, Lunar. Okay, I put too much emphasis on this shade. Anyways, I'm going to take this one again, and I'm going to run it just on the bottom lash line just a little bit because it gets really intense real quick. So I'm only going to do just a little bit just to deepen this up. Now it's time to finally apply the shimmer shade for this 3 eyeshadow look, and we're going to go into Free Floating here, which is my favorite shimmer shade in this entire palette, and it's so freaking gorgeous, and I've already said it before, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate each and every one of you and your support. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day and or week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye guys.